Hey everybody, it's Callan here doing a review of Last Stop 174. So this movie is written, it's a Brazilian film, I believe it's from 2008. It's written by the same writer as City of God. I'll just get into the storyline right away. So the story is about, so I was watching a trailer to figure out how to. The trailer really introduces the story. I don't want you to think that I'm spoiling anything from this film, because I'm not. So, the trailer says, it starts off saying, this bus was hijacked, and there was like a big, some bus was hijacked in Rio, and it created this gigantic, social, I guess, dialogue. Like, everyone started speaking about what was going on, because it kind of made people aware of, like, social problems, I guess, in Rio, because it was right in your face. There were all these news organizations recorded and everything. I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not sure if this was like a real event or not. I don't know if this movie's based on a true story. I don't remember reading anything that it said it was, so that's why I'm kind of iffy. Yeah, I can't remember. Like, I read the back of the box, and it didn't tell me like that it was, so it's probably fictionalized. But anyway, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'm in Canada right now, so my access to like Brazilian news from 2003, I can't remember anything like that. Like a city bus getting hijacked. Anyways, so the trailer starts off, and it was like, this bus was hijacked in Rio, and everybody's story was told. Everyone who was involved in the hijacking story was told, except for the hijacker. So I guess that's how this is the story of how this kid hijacked the bus. Well, it's about all the events that led up to him hijacking the bus. Of course, like, hijacking the bus itself is like anyone can imagine that, but like his life leading up to it. So the film takes place starts off in the 80s, goes into the 90s, and then in the early 2000s. This was, tells the story of Sandro and Alessandro. I think I'm saying those names correctly. That's what it sounded like when I was listening to the movie. Their lives kind of intertwine, and they just both came from very tragic circumstances. Sandro, at the very beginning of the film, you see Sandro's mother is murdered in a heist gone wrong, I guess, and he's becomes homeless at like the age of 10 or something. The other boy, Alessandro, was I think he was taken from his mother when he was an infant, I think for a drug debt. It doesn't really get into that. And then he was raised by a drug dealer. So, that's where the movie starts off, and it kind of shows how these two kids meet in a juvenile correctional institution, I guess. Juvenile corrections institution? I don't know what you call it. Anyways, it's like a prison for children. And the movie progresses from there. Okay, so now my opinion about the film. I thought that all the filmmaking in this movie was excellent for portraying the realist sort of, just how this movie was so realistic looking was really good. Like, the shots were like, the duration of the shots were like long enough to really give me a sense of feeling like I'm there. I don't know, it just really worked really well. I felt like it's giving me a little bit of insight into life in, like, living in Brazil, or maybe just Rio de Janeiro. Though this is like a view of like the very most impoverished people, it seems. So I did enjoy that. I think that this movie gives you like a lot of cultural insight if you're like a North American viewer, or even just if you're a viewer that isn't from Brazil. It gives you insight into what it'd be like to live there. But that goes without saying, more or less. So it was kind of useless. Anyways, yeah, this movie was really good. I'm just gonna Oh, I'll give it the review and then I'll talk a little bit about City of God. Okay, so my review, or my I'll give it a rating. My rating is 9 out of 10. It's a really good movie. I recommend it for anyone out there, especially if you've seen other Brazilian films. Now I'll get into City of God. It was written by the same writer as City of God. City of God is also like an amazing film. The first time I watched it, I think I was like kind of partying with some buddies, and I got quite intoxicated. Then we watched it, and I was really blown away that the next morning when I woke up with a hangover, I watched it again immediately. Because I was like, what was that movie I watched? It was such a good movie. I can't remember any of it. My head's so hazy. I was watching it, so I watched it again right away. It's an excellent movie, City of God. It's a piece from, it takes place in the 60s and 70s, I believe. It talks about a lot about, it kind of portrays adolescence and the sort of more impoverished sort of level of society in Rio de Janeiro. So there's a lot of parallels between Last Stop 174 and City of God. Though City of God definitely focuses more on, it gives you a more intimate look into like the crime culture, because that's basically the entire focus is organized crime in that film. Whereas Last Stop 174 is a much more individualistic story. It's just focusing on like really just two characters. Talks about crime and stuff that kind of affects them, but it's mostly just focused on them, whereas City of God is also focused on individual characters, but it gives you a more broader scope of I guess the crime involved in Rio. So that's my review for Last Stop 174, and I recommend it. See you guys later.